Hiroshima bombing, August 6th. Given the current state of global unrest, with ongoing wars and the ever-present debate around nuclear deterrence, we began to reflect on the mindset of both the Japanese people and international community toward this nearly 80-year-old tragedy.
On August 6, 2024, marking the 79th anniversary of the atomic bombing, we traveled to Hiroshima to attend its Peace Memorial ceremony and witness firsthand the lasting effects of atomic warfare. I was struck by the calmness of the park and the sheer number of people from around the world gathered in Hiroshima to remember the devastation that occurred in 1945. It was powerful to witness the diverse representation and the tremendous effort Japan has put into memorializing this tragedy, with around 30 monuments scattered throughout Peace Memorial Park to ensure that it is never forgotten. To understand how those educated in Japan perceive the atomic bombing, we attended a special English presentation for foreigners by Mr. Toshiaki Nakagawa, the son of atomic bomb survivor Hiroko Yonezawa, where he recounted the day of the bombing as his mother remembered it. Mrs. Yonezawa, one of 3 children, was the only one fortunate enough to survive the devastating blast. Since Japan was at war, many middle school students were assigned to work basic factory jobs. As a result, Mrs. Yonezawa left her school for work that day, saving her from the explosion. After the impact, she immediately went back to her school near the epicenter to find her siblings, but she was unsuccessful. Instead, she witnessed horrifying scenes of people with their skin peeling and drooping like zombies. Now, many paintings depict these graphic images that she witnessed firsthand. Following the presentation, we spoke with fellow foreign visitors to hear their reflections on what they had learned. A group of young German university students described how the event was taught back home.
In Germany, it's very much presented in a technical way. Like, this is the force of the explosion, this is the effect of radiation on the body, but it doesn't really convey the human element, the personal stories behind it.
A couple from New Zealand further reflected on the significance of the ceremony.
Over the years, we've learned the facts, but what really stood out is the city's focus on peace. The ceremony wasn't just a remembrance, it was about hope, about looking forward.
In our conversations, we all shared a moment of gratitude for the ceremony, acknowledging that the experience offered a deeper understanding of the human cost. However, as we watched the lanterns float down the river, we couldn't help but ask, where is the history as to why the bomb was dropped? Are the Japanese truly the only victims of this tragedy? To understand, we must recap the history that led to the atomic droppings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The history that was not found in Hiroshima's museums, remembrance ceremonies, and even among its people.
Beginning in the late 19th century, Japan's quest to increase its national wealth and military power was fueled by its desire to catch up with Western powers. Japan's success in World War I emboldened its militaristic aspirations. As the fever for conquest grew, Japan occupied Manchuria in 1931 and led a full-scale invasion of China in 1937. Korea, annexed in 1910, was heavily exploited, with millions of Koreans forced into labor until the 40s, while similar tactics were used across other occupied Asian territories, extracting resources and manpower. Furthermore, after the United States halted petroleum exports to Japan on November 1941, Japan staged a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor a month later. As anthropologist Ruth Benedict captured in her book The Chrysanthemum and the Sword, Japan's wartime mentality would allow nothing, not abandonment or sickness or death, to divert them from fulfilling their duty. Thus, faced with a Japanese military willing to fight to the death, the US had to make a difficult decision.
As we reflect on Hiroshima, we certainly do not justify the use of atomic bombs. However, we see the bombing as a tragic but necessary end to Japan's mistake. Its military. The world, including Japan, must acknowledge this truth, as it's not often talked about enough. War doesn't just happen, and what is even more concerning is the resurgence of militarization worldwide, a dangerous trend that suggests Japan and the world forgot the lessons of history. Japan's government has declared that by 2027, it will increase its military expenditure to 2% of its GDP, a return to the past. From military expenditure databases, we visualize the disturbing trend of Japan's military budget resurging. And our interviewees from Germany sympathized with our concerns about global remilitarization.
Germany has remilitarized a bit too because of Russia's attack on Ukraine. We're spending more on defense, and a lot of people are worried because in Germany, we've been adamantly against war and weapons for decades. But now we're having to rethink that.
There are clear signs of rising tensions. Japan must move beyond mere victimization to a deeper acknowledgement of its historical actions and flaws, and the world should learn from Japan's mistakes if we are to avoid repeating damage to thousands of innocent civilians.